Hi. Today we're gonna eat this thing. It's a butternut squash. And I've tried to make food from this by roasting it in the oven and slathering it in olive oil and some rosemary, a little bit of salt, and that is really, really yummy. But now that I've been trying to eat healthier, well, that's pretty healthy. But we're gonna try to eat this without any added salt, oil, or sugar. I don't know if it's gonna taste good, but there's only one way to find out, is to try. So that's what we're gonna do today. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to chop up this butternut squash, and then we're going to cook it in the pressure cooker, so that I don't have a bunch of toxic fumes from my gas stove in the house, because it'd have to cook for like 30 minutes, and that's 30 minutes of toxic fumes coming out and being burnt in the house. And I'd rather just use electricity in the Instant Pot to cook the butternut squash, and then we're gonna make a soup out of it. And I have a special treat to eat while we're waiting for it to cook. Let me just make sure you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I should be able to see. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands. Washy. I am the ex-doctor who washed his hands. Okay, so we gotta peel this big thing. This is just a potato peeler, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. Let's try the other one. This one might work better. Yeah, wow, this is tough. Oh man. All right, making some progress. Not much though. Maybe I'm using this wrong. Oh, I just got to get the right angle. Interesting. So, butternut squash has that typical like orange color, but this one has yellow. It's usually just yellow right underneath the skin, and it should have a more orange color down deep inside. We'll find out shortly. Butternut squash. You can make roasted butternut squash. It's great for salads. Even just by itself, it's really yummy. And soup, super yummy too. That's what we're gonna make today. And I should have enough. There'll be leftover from when my wife comes home. She can have some. This is a pretty big butternut squash, so it should be. Well, she doesn't always like the food I make because I don't put in all the salt and oil and sugar or like fats or acid that make foods taste like delicious. Like celebrity chefs or just any chef, that they're taught to use oil, sugar, fats, acid. because that stuff makes food taste good. That's why processed foods taste so much better than healthy foods. But one thing that I've found is that the more healthy foods that you eat and the less salt, oil, and sugar that you use, the more your taste buds can adapt to actually really like the healthy foods. And then if I eat something that's super fatty and oily and sugary and has a little acid in it, it doesn't taste as good actually as it used to, because my taste buds, they reset. So yeah, if you find that healthy foods just really taste really awful, it's a temporary thing, and then actually they taste really good after your taste buds readjust from just the overstimulation of processed foods. Oh yeah, so this is a 5-a-day episode. So 5 a day means I'm trying to eat 5 servings a day of vegetables and fruit every day. This is not working very well in the end. And then the reason why I try to get minimum of 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is because that gives me and my microbiome, which is the 100 trillion bacteria that live with us, and they're our friends. They help us and we help them. We provide a home for them, and they give us a lot of chemicals and nutrients that we can't make on our own, but they can. The vegetables and fruit have fiber in it that they eat. We can't eat that fiber. I mean, we can consume it, but we can't absorb that fiber. That's for our microbiome. Our microbiome, they eat that. That makes them happy, and then they give us stuff that we need, that we can't make. So if you don't eat enough fiber, which is found in fruits and vegetables, also whole grains and beans and nuts and seeds, if you don't eat enough fiber, then your microbiome doesn't get the food they need, and they're not healthy and they're not happy, and then your body can't be healthy and happy either, because it's not just our human body. We have all the bacteria that live with us, and we need each other. Just like in life, we all need each other to be happy and healthy as a society. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. But let's clear off this, and I'm going to try to tackle the ends of this butternut squash. Okay, how am I going to get the ends? I'm going to try this one more time. See if I can maybe go around the circumference. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is working. Going around the circumference. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is what an MIT education is for. I'm just joking, by the way. Honestly, MIT, I don't think I learned that much there. I learned way more in high school at the math and science school that I went to. I learned way more there. And of course, I learned a lot in medical school, but I don't think I really learned that much at MIT. Sorry, Mom and Dad, who helped pay for most of that education. But yeah, I don't think I learned that much there. Now, the prestige of the place opened up a lot of doors, being an alum from there. But yeah. Okay. Well, and of course now that prestige doesn't matter anymore. I'm just wandering around the woods, the mountains with my doggy. Now I'm looking for mushrooms. I'm looking for berries and leafy greens that I can eat. You don't need an MIT education for that. You don't need the prestige of MIT for that. Now, arguably, maybe some people started watching this YouTube channel because of that prestige that I had and I left. And that's fine. But you don't need the prestige of MIT to peel a butternut squash. Now, what is prestige anyways? What are these like social constructs that we make to put one person above another person? I think that's messed up. People are all people. Even if one person might be more intelligent than another person, or one person is stronger than another person, physically or emotionally, one person is not above another person. We're all just people. All right, we're getting closer to the end here. I think those kinds of distinctions that people make are to control people. If you say that one person is superior to another person, then they somehow have some God-given or self-given or society-given right to tell other people what to do. I don't think that's right. Aha, this is kind of cool. There is the seed part here, but not on this side. Okay, gonna concentrate so I don't chop my fingers. All right, I don't do this very often, so there may be a more efficient way to chop this up. But, you know, who cares? Who cares? It's gonna get chopped one way or another. Yeah, I think you need like a stratification of society if you want to control people and make them do what they don't want to do. And so I don't think that's a good idea. I think a healthy society is more equal. We don't live in an equal society. We live in a horribly unequal society. You get billionaires running these corporations, making people live a life that they don't find fulfilling. And everyone worships these billionaires like, oh my gosh, they're so smart. I wish that I could be like them. I wish I could have a mega yacht like they do. I'm gonna scoop. I have to scoop this out on camera. Here's the seeds. Just taking a spoon. Well, this spoon's not working very well, but just trying to scoop out that stuff in the middle. Why do people want to be like the billionaires? Do you just want to like tell people what to do? Have people do stuff for you? Why do people worship what the billionaires say as like gospel or something? So-and-so said this. Oh, really? Okay, sure. So-and-so said this, so it must be true. Well, I can say a lot of things. Doesn't mean they're true. Just because someone has $1 billion doesn't mean that what they say is more true than what someone else said. In fact, I would argue that the billionaire has a lot of incentives to say things that are not true. They have a lot to lose. Oh yeah, it just kind of gets into what's real and what's not real. I kind of talked about that in a video I posted a couple days ago about the difficulty in telling what's true, what's real, and what's fake, especially with AI and video editing. But if you go beyond video editing, just the massive amount of propaganda, marketing, advertisements. If you were to look up anything, you could find the opposite. The earth is round. Well, you can find people that are online that are saying the earth is flat. Veggies are good for you. Yeah, you can find people that say veggies are bad for you. Meat is not so good for you. Well, you can find people that say meat is great for you. I'm not even going to go into politics. There's an important election tomorrow, which causes a lot of people a lot of grief. But there's just so many lies. So many lies. The truth is like you're at the ocean and what's a good analogy? You're at the ocean and you have a diamond. It's not very big. It's like that big. And that's the truth. And then you drop it on the beach and it gets covered in sand. How the hell are you going to find it? That sand is all the lies that are purposely put out there so that the truth is obscured. There is a diamond in the beach. It's on the beach. It's in the sand. It is there. It is possible to find, but it is exceedingly difficult. You might even have it in your hand, but with all the other sand grains, you might not realize you have it in your hand, and you might drop it and look somewhere else. Yeah, that's the world we live in. And I would argue that the majority of that is purposeful. It's designed to confuse and prevent cooperation amongst people. I was talking about the microbiome and us. We work together to have a life together. Without my microbiome, I would be very unhealthy. My immune system wouldn't function properly. Without me, the microbiome doesn't have a home to live in. So we have to cooperate. And to cooperate, there has to be communication. And the microbiome communicates with us all the time. In fact, I've been starting to try to communicate back and just say, hey, microbiome, what's up? How are you all doing down there? I want to try to learn how to listen to what you're saying. Let you know that some good food's coming your way. All right, microbiome, we got some butternut squash coming your way in a little bit. Now, it's hard to communicate with other people when you can't even agree on what's real. Yes. Part of it is our education system. Our education system has a whole bunch of issues, but people's minds, you know, they just like, they don't exercise their critical thinking. That's okay. You know, it's easier to just keep scrolling on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or TikTok and not use your brain. That's okay. That's okay, but it's just a problem. It's a problem if you want to have a functioning society that has some basis in reality. Well, some people wrote on that video that, man, Doobie, this is like really pessimistic, and you spend a lot of time meditating on really negative things. How about you meditate on some positive things? And yeah, you're right. There's some things that, you know, concern me, and so that's why I talk about it. But no, you make a good point. I should focus on more positive things. You know, I did make a video on all positive thinking hurts everybody. But you know, all negative thinking would also hurt everybody. So, got to mix in some positivity with the negative. Now, interestingly, I thought this would be more orange, but it still looks pretty. It's very pretty. All right, so we're going to pressure cook this. So I'm going to add 3 cups of water. Now, the recipe I saw online said add 3 cups of broth. You know, it could be veggie broth, could be chicken stock, whatever, beef broth. But all those broths have added salt. So I'm going to experiment and see what this tastes like with just water. It may taste awful, but I highly doubt it, because I think it's actually going to taste really good. We're gonna find out. This is a new adventure. All right, now let's see if you can see. Oh yeah, you can see. I'm gonna put this. So I got water in there. See the water. And put it in the pressure cooker. Sometimes the seal on the pressure cooker gets out of its position and it won't close properly. There we go. Make sure that the pressure thing is off, and I wonder if I should turn it on. Actually, I'm just gonna turn it on, and then I'll just set it to the bean setting, which is 30 minutes. That should be plenty. All right, so that's something positive. We got butternut squash coming. Now I got something else that's positive. A special autumn treat. Look at this. Look at this beautiful fruit. I don't get to eat this very often. Pomegranate. Ooh, that beautiful purple color. Juice. Tons of antioxidants. And a fun tactile experience as well. But this stuff can stain very easy, so I'm gonna carefully get over here. Okay, well that we're gonna just come over here while this butternut squash cooks. There's Doobie chilling by the window. My brother sent me an article saying that more light during the daytime leads to decreased mortality, and less light at nighttime also leads to oh, did I say that right? No. More light during the daytime leads to a longer life, and less light at nighttime also leads to a longer life. So you want to have more light exposure during the daytime and less at night, so that your circadian rhythm, your brain, your eye, your whole body, the hormones and everything that are related to day and night have a good cycle. If we're looking at our phone or computer screen or have tons of house lights on at nighttime, it's not good. Or if you live in the city and you got a lot of ambient light from street lights, office buildings, billboards or something, it's good to have. Well, one way to do it is to have blackout curtains, but another way to do it is one of these eye masks. This eye mask has little cups for your eyeballs, and it's very comfortable. I mean, it's pitch black right now. I can't see anything. And it's so soft. It's like someone's like hugging my face. It feels really nice. This is also good to meditate. And I'm gonna try to eat pomegranates with it on. Well, this is a bad idea. But I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see what eating pomegranates with a blindfold on is like. There's some surgeries that I joked that I'd done so many times that I could do it with a blindfold. But vision is such a strong perception of ours that kind of overrides the other senses. Like sometimes you forget to smell. Pomegranate doesn't have a strong smell. Well, Doobie would probably disagree, but it's got excellent tactile features and taste. You got the little juice pockets, like little juice pockets popping in your mouth, and then you got the seed to chew. And before you chew on it, it's got that polygonal shape that is compressible. Pomegranate. Wow, what a delight. See, I don't focus on negative stuff all the time. I think it is important to talk about negative things at times, because life is both positive and negative. Yeah. And there's, even if something is really negative, I'm really enjoying eating blindfolded. Wow, this is fun. I'm not going to eat the whole time blindfolded. Actually, I'm going to stop now. Oh, it's really bright. Ah, it's so pretty. These fruits are so pretty. Check that out. Oh! Good thing I have a red table runner. And I'm wearing a red sweatshirt. Good choice for today. Yeah, life is not all positive. No, it's good to appreciate the positives and negatives of life. Well, if you just focus on one, then you can't be honest. You can't be honest with yourself and other people. Then problems occur. But honesty requires that there's a truth. So, is there truth? That's a philosophical question. Is this pomegranate edible? Well, I'm eating it, so I think that's true. Do these little red kernels have juice in them? Let's find out. They do have juice in them. I think that's true. Does the juice taste good? Well, it tastes good to me. So it's at least true for me. It may not be true for other people. They may not like the taste of pomegranate. So I guess that could be subjective, a subjective truth. But is a pomegranate edible is, I would say, objectively true for humans. Oh, those are good places to start. Well, to me, it's concerning that truth gets obscured, like dropping a diamond on a beach with a bunch of sand, a small diamond. How the heck are you going to find it? And that's what I feel like life is like today, in today's society, and a lot of it's on purpose. It's on purpose. Somebody came and dumped a whole bunch of truckloads of sand to make it harder to see what the truth is. Yeah. Well, I think that we just got to do the best we can and point out when things are not true, and be self-critical too. Instead of just parroting what someone else said, it's like, oh, that billionaire said this, so it must be true. Well, actually, why don't you think about it? I need to think about it too. Is that true or not? Why would the billionaire say that? Can I trust everything a billionaire says? Do they have my best interest at heart? Why would a billionaire have my best interest at heart? Who does have my best interest at heart? Those are some important questions to ask. Well, I know a lot of people are stressed out about an important political thing that's happening. And I can tell you how I deal with this time. I'm actually not stressed out about it that much, a little bit. The reason why I'm not stressed out about it is because I view both choices as bad. The reason being, both choices want to continue the way of life that we have. Both want to continue the way we live that's destroying our ecosystem and our balance with the world and other life forms. One wants to do it faster than the other, but they both want to do it. So, in my mind, it's kind of like an artificial choice. Do I want bad or badder? Where's the good choice? So, I've just come to accept that both choices are bad. One's better than the other, but whatever. They're both really bad. So, I'm not like gonna stay up all night finding out if it was the bad choice or the better choice. I'm more concerned about trying to find a good way to live. A way, and by that I mean a way that's trying to be in balance with nature as best as possible while living in this culture, in this society. And the society is changing, but that's what I'm more concerned about. Also, I've come to realize that, I come to realize this a lot by being a doctor, is that you can't really help people in a way that people really need to be helped. Only they can help themselves. For instance, someone can come to my office, though I used to have an office, and have a degenerated joint in their back that's causing them great suffering. And vast majority of the situations, surgery wouldn't have any benefit and would make them worse. This small percentage of situations where surgery would have made them better, but at some cost. Overall, the benefit would have been worth the cost. Well, hopefully. But the majority of the situations are not like that. I think I messed up the pressure valve. 1 second. Yeah. I did mess up the pressure valve. Okay, it's set correctly. So, vast majority of the situations, I could tell the person what the tools are to get better, which is healthy diet, 5 servings a day of vegetables and fruit, minimum. Low salt intake, sweating, exercise, being outside, get sunlight, sleep enough, work on decreasing stress or removing stressors from the life, meditating, working on your emotional and spiritual self, trying to understand why you do behaviors that are self-destructive or destructive to other people, trying to reconnect with yourself and your surroundings. That's actually how you get your body to heal not only spine joints, but the whole body. Because the body heals everything. It doesn't heal just one part. Once it's healing well, it heals everything. But I can't do that for another person. Only they can do that for themselves. So my concept of helping people has changed. I had this incredible desire to help people. And I'm exploring that with my therapist. We haven't gotten too much into detail about that because I kept getting sidetracked with other things to talk about. But hopefully this week I can explore that in more detail with my therapist. But the desire to help, I think it comes from the desire for someone to help me. It's a pretty natural desire for someone to help you and take care of you, like your mother or an older sibling or father or a mentor. It's a very natural feeling to feel cared for, or spouse. I think a lot in my life, I wanted to be helped, and it kind of like sublimated that into helping other people. Because if I have that desire to feel helped, other people have that desire too, and then I can help them. But what I've realized in my life experiences now, I'm 40 now, is that this is beautiful here. Look at that. Here's the cut side, here's the uncut side. Just so gorgeous. I almost don't want to eat it, but I will. No, I'm going to come back to the helping thing. One thing I found out is that AI is horrible at depicting humans eating things. So, take this, AI. That is so yummy. I'm a real person eating a real pomegranate. It's delicious. I'm sorry, AI, but you're never going to be able to taste and feel what I feel. I've developed some kind of antagonism to AI. I feel like it's an unnecessary technology that is going to, I think, make things a lot worse for the way we live. Not to mention it sucks up a huge amount of energy. Now, there's no way we're going to meet our emission goals, which we're not going to be anyways, but there's definitely no way we're going to meet the emission goals if we pursue AI. We're trying to create a God, a consciousness, and I think people are tempted by the power that AI could give the people that control it. And it's going to change the way we live a lot. And I think a lot for the worse. But one thing that AI cannot do is, well, at least right now it can't, is depict people eating. It's got a really good ability to depict very attractive people, like looking and like smiling and like talking a little bit and like looking around, but is horrible at depicting people eating. Like if you look at it trying to depict people eating, it's like they like they start shaking. It's actually like nightmare fuel, honestly. It's really scary. Well, hopefully that doesn't become a meme or something, me eating pomegranate in a weird way. But that's okay if it does. Maybe AI can train on that. Haha. Gotcha. All right, well, going back to helping people. I realized that you can't really help people get out of their suffering. You can maybe show them, you can maybe help them in a way by like showing them the path that they can take, because maybe they don't even know the path, but they have to choose to go on the path. And there's multiple paths. There's not just one path. There's many paths. But they have to choose to go on at least one of them, and you cannot choose for them. So that's what I've learned. The only person I can truly help is actually myself, because I have the ability to choose my path. I cannot choose the path for my wife or my friend or a stranger on the street or a politician. You know, they choose their own paths. I can, or a patient that's got back problems. I cannot choose the path for them. That's their choice. That's their power, and everyone deserves that power. Well, a lot of people don't exercise that power that they have. So, yeah. That's part of why I don't practice medicine anymore. The whole concept of going to a doctor is that the doctor is going to fix you. But patients don't like to hear that they actually have to fix themselves. The doctor can kind of show them the way, maybe help them a little bit. So realizing that has actually been liberating. In many ways, that is the whole basis for the videos I've been making. Is that these videos are me attempting to help myself. Help choose a path where I can take care of my body, mind, and soul, and exercise my choice to live a better life. That brings me to one of the points that a viewer commented on my last video. My last video was about not having children and why I haven't had children. Why I've chosen not to have children. And that viewer, one of the viewers, said that that there's an oxymoron. That that me, Gooby, says that they love life, but they choose not to have a child. And by choosing not to have a child, that means that I don't love life. And that is false. Because you can love life and not have a child. What requirement is it to love life and have a child? Does that mean all childless people don't love life? You just think about that, you know it's not true. I just wanted to point that out because someone has said that this morning. And I'm grateful that my mother gave me life, and I'm happy to be alive. And I'm choosing to stay alive every day. And I really enjoy eating this pomegranate. In a relatively normal human way. You know, I can't be like completely normal, otherwise AI will figure it out, and then they'll make a normal video, AI video of someone eating pomegranate normally. You know, you gotta throw them off, you know, a little bit here and there. Do like weird things, you know, on video, unexpectedly. The reason why I've been talking about AI actually is because well, I got to go back to the liberating part about realizing about helping people. But I'll explain why I've been on this AI kick the last two videos. Is because a really, really, really smart man who watches these videos contacted me. Yeah, contacted me in a way that, it's a little bit, it's a little bit, well, he was walking outside where I live for like a couple of weeks trying to get in touch with me. A little concerning, but a little concerning. But it turns out, I had a conversation with him, and turns out that, you know, he is an ex-computer scientist, and he wanted to share with me his concerns about AI. And you know, while I went to MIT, I studied biology. I didn't take any computer courses in college, only in high school, and I was really bad at programming. So you know, my knowledge of computers, despite going to MIT, is very limited. And he really explained to me the dangers of AI. And it is actually very concerning. I think it's just a reflection of the greed for power that our culture values and encourages. It's the same greed that's tearing down the forests and poisoning the water and the air. And it's the same greed that enslaves the vast multitude of humans. Even though we're technically not called slaves, we're called free. We are slaves to the system. Same greed. That same force, that same driving energy and the value of the culture that we live in is creating AI for the same purpose, for power and enslavement. and greed. Well, it's very concerning. Well, I'm not that well versed on AI, so that's not my story really to tell. Although I can tell little quips about it, like throw stones in the water and eat pomegranate in a weird way. But yeah, it is concerning. That's the reason why I've been talking about it, is because that man found me, and I appreciate my privacy, and so I don't encourage people to come find me. I'm sharing enough of my life as it is through these videos. You can find me online on YouTube and comment, because I read a lot of the comments and respond to the ones I can and the ones I want to. You can contact me through those means. If everyone tried to come find me, well, it would really seriously disrupt the production of these videos. So I wouldn't be able to go out into the mountains. I wouldn't be able to have peace and be able to think about these ideas and thoughts and feelings that I find important and I want to share. So yeah, I don't encourage that. But going back to the liberation. Let me just make sure my phone's still running. Sometimes it runs out of memory. Ah, good, it's still going. Oh my gosh, it's already been an hour. Oh, before we go back, I gotta show you something. Check out this thing. Check this out. Well, these are some seashells that I've collected. These are cool. That's a hole punctured in by a predator, I think, to suck out the organism that was living in this shell. This is baby oyster mushrooms. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny one. I don't know if you can see it. There's a tiny little oyster mushroom coming up right there. And the moisture that you see on the inside of this plastic bag is from the mushroom metabolizing the food source, which is in here. I got this bag from the Mushroom Foray, Mushroom Puget Sound Mycological Society weekend. And it's gonna grow a bunch of oyster mushrooms. And I mean, it's growing right now, but they'll probably be ready to eat in a week or two. And I've got my foraging book of Washington mushrooms, and my fingers are dirty, so I'm not gonna go too much into this, but I'm gonna show you what Doobie and I are gonna go look for. Actually, I showed you in the video. White chanterelles. We're gonna go find some more of these, because season is fall and early winter, which is where we are. And the habitat. The thing I like about mushrooms is that they are a lot of them are symbiotic with certain trees. This is symbiotic with conifers in old growth forests, particularly at low elevation and coastal areas. It partners with hemlock, madrone, and Douglas fir. So the cool thing about looking for mushrooms is that you have to know the trees that they like and they live with. So in the case of white chanterelles, they are partners with hemlock, madrone, and Douglas fir. It's really hard for me to remember how to distinguish the different conifers like spruce, hemlock, Douglas fir. I know what a Douglas fir cone looks like, but you can tell by the way that the needles are going and how many needles are in each sheath, and I gotta look that up again. But the cool thing about looking for mushrooms is that there's a timing, and there are relationships with trees that the mushrooms like. Particular mushrooms like particular plants. And sometimes they're symbiotic, sometimes they eat the dead plant or dead tree. Sometimes they're parasitic. But I really like the ones that are symbiotic, because that means that they are just like us and the microbiome. They're friends with the trees, and the trees give them sugar from the sunlight that they collect in their leaves. And then the mushrooms give the trees like water that's hard to get to, and also nutrients that the tree can't get to or can't make, but the mushroom can. And so there's a partnership. So, life is not all just like kill or be killed. There's a lot of cooperation going on in life. And it's not all war. There's actually peace and cooperation in addition to war. I like that about mushrooms. And going out there, Doobie and I love being out there anyways. We're gonna go tomorrow. We like being out there anyway, so it's just like an extra treat to look for these mushrooms, look for the trees first, look for the right trees, and then look down at the ground and try to find these mushrooms. And if we find them, we can eat them or cook them. And Doobie really liked the chanterelles I brought home from that weekend. So I'm hoping that she likes to do this, and that maybe she gets good at smelling the mushrooms, because she's good at pointing out like some greens that are edible, like miner's lettuce. She will point that out for me. So and she's eaten some miner's lettuce, but I have a feeling that she could find these mushrooms too. And she gets to eat some when we come home and cook it. So there's something in it for her too. I guess we have a symbiotic relationship too. Let's go check on how the let's go check on how much time is left on the timer for the squash. Ooh, 7 minutes. Okay. Almost there. Wow, I'm actually getting kind of full just eating the pomegranate. When you eat slower and you really like savor it, the body kind of gets satiated. Plus, I mean, these are whole foods. There's no added sugar, salt, or oil. There is sugar in the fruit because it's a fruit, but it's not no added sugars. And there's a ton of fiber. These seeds are very fibrous. This is very satisfying. I don't think AI could depict breaking open a pomegranate. Maybe it could. Good. That's good. Well, liberation from helping people. No, that's not the correct way to say it. The liberating aspect of realizing how you can truly help people. Yeah, that's the right way. You can't truly help someone by doing it for them, because you can't do it for them. It's impossible. And if you try, you just end up hurting yourself and them. Because you can't do things like that for people. They have to choose to do it themselves. That's the true healing. That's the true help. You can show a way to do it, but they have to choose to do it. So that's the whole purpose of me making these videos, is I realize that I can't choose for other people. I can only choose for myself. And I feel like my life is a lot better now than even like a week ago or several months ago. And so I think that's an important realization, and I'm trying to help myself. Not to say that I've figured things out, but I figured some stuff out. And I'm just trying to help myself. I feel like I'm helping myself some. There's definitely, I got some blind spots. I've got things that I need to work on, things I need to grow, things where I need to grow, and other areas where I need to have degrowth, like my tummy. Well, my tummy's gotten smaller, but I still got some tummy there. But emotionally and spiritually, same thing. There are areas where I need to grow and other areas I need to degrow. But these videos are my way of documenting these things that I'm doing that I think are helping. And if they can help me, they can help you too. But not in a way that I do things for you. Only you can do things for yourself. And in reading the comments, I read a lot of other people that are doing things like this, and then I learn from them too. And it's not that they're doing things for me, but I see what they're doing, and then I can apply that for my own life. Yeah. Wow. So that's liberating. That's liberating to realize that I don't have to help people in a way that I do it for them, because that's actually counterproductive. But being there, being connected, in a way, and being there for the person is a way to help, so that they can choose to do it themselves. There's an important thing that I also learned. I got really, really high on mushrooms this past Saturday because there was an important thing I needed to figure out. And I don't get high very much anymore. Like the last time I had a weed gummy was like over 2 months ago. When I made that, like a week before I made that video, Psychoactive Substances and the Help Your Body Heal series. I haven't felt the need for that anymore. But the mushroom gummy that contains muscimol, derived from the Amanita muscaria mushroom, I find very helpful in being able to see very complicated things and see the truth behind them, or the connection between very disparate, complicated ideas or concepts. It's very helpful for that, or to look inside yourself and not be thrown off by the lies you tell yourself. So I find the mushroom to be very, 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 very helpful for that. Oh, nice. I'll tell you what I discovered. Let me let's come over here. We're gonna turn off the warmer, and then I could, well, we'll just try. That's very dangerous, by the way. You don't want to go near that. That's like super hot. Really, 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 really hot. Oh, it smells so good. It's kind of spraying water all over the place. But it smells delicious. So if I don't want to get it so wet like this, I usually wait a little bit, but this video is already a little bit longer than usual, so that's why I popped it right when the timer went on. It feels good. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, it smells so yummy. I'll have to be patient. Patience. Patience is not one of my like strong points. In fact, mushroom hunting is going to be really good for me because I am a pretty impulsive person, and I like to do things spontaneously, and I don't have much patience for like being like triple checking things. But mushroom hunting, you know, if I don't triple check and I be patient and I take the time to confirm, I could die. So mushroom hunting is going to exercise a part of me that is weak, which is patience and being diligent and double checking and triple checking. All right, so I'm going to show you what it looks like in there. Those look pretty good. And then now we're gonna put it in the blender. All right, so let's see, we got, well here, I'm gonna put this here. Yeah. All right, put it in the blender. Here we go. Oh yeah, this looks so good. Wow. I missed on some of these. All right. Hot. That's pretty good. Let's see. So right now, all there is in there is butternut squash. I'm gonna add some rosemary. Let's see, where is the rosemary? Rosemary, where are you? Basil, paprika. Ah, rosemary. Just got a little rosemary. Just gonna add a little bit. I don't want to add too much because I don't like my things too spicy. I like to just taste the food, but this will add a little flavor to it. I wonder if cinnamon might be good too, but we can always add that later. Now, just gonna blend this up. I have a pretty bowl. Ooh. Well, that's a lot of soup. I hope it tastes good. I'm gonna pour the rest of this into a glass container so it doesn't like soak up all the yucky stuff from the plastics. Let's see. How much is there? That's a good amount. But I might have to put it in two separate ones. All right. Well, that's a lot of soup. I'll let that cool before I put the lids on, because the lids are plastic. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I had a spoon here too. And then there's a little bit of a finishing touch I'm gonna put on there. First, I'm gonna move these pomegranates to the side. And finishing touch, unsalted raw pumpkin seeds or pepita seeds. I love pumpkin seeds. They're so yummy. In fact, Well, I put a bunch in there, but I'm going to be pretty generous with that. I can always add more later. All right, well, moment of truth. Is this going to be yummy or awful tasting? It's a little watery. Maybe next time I'll put less water in there. Well, not the best tasting soup, but it's still, I mean, I can eat it. I would say, you know, I would say that rosemary is a little overpowering. I didn't even put that much in there. I just put a little bit in there. It really shows that like the actual food tastes really good. Like just the butternut squash by itself tastes really good. I would say that the rosemary is overpowering. I didn't put that much, so next time I'll put less. It doesn't taste bad. It just, like I want to savor the butternut squash, and then the rosemary kind of like butts in and it's like, hey, I'm here. And then the pepita seeds, I'm glad I didn't put in a whole handful. You know, actually, I think I would have just liked just the butternut squash by itself. Now, if you put in some cream and a little bit of salt in this, man, you could serve that at a restaurant. A little heavy cream or something and a little bit of salt. Yeah, you could charge like, I don't even know how much butternut squash soup costs these days in a fancy restaurant, but I mean, you could probably get away with like $20 or something for a bowl that's like a third this size, like a cup. Restaurants are so outrageous. Well, this is my first attempt at making butternut squash soup ever. I've made roasted butternut squash and ate it with like quinoa or rice or like, yeah. But I've never made butternut squash soup. So if I were to make this again, which I will make it again, because it's actually yummy, even despite the criticisms I had. Well, Doobie actually wants some. I'm gonna give her a little bowl. You want some? It's pretty yummy. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but we'll try it. I'll give you a little bit, and then if you like it a lot, I'll give you more. Now, I talk to my dog, because she talks to me too. Now, that might sound a little crazy, but if you have a dog, then you'll understand. The dogs communicate. Not in English, but you know, through their body language, their vocalizations, the way that they look at you and look at something else and then look back at you. So while she may not understand English, when I communicate with her, she's understanding how I'm feeling and communicating too. Dogs have feelings. We should not experiment on animals. Animals have feelings. All right, well, let's see how this animal feels when she gets some butternut squash soup that Daddy made. You want some? Okay, sit. Wait. You're a good girl. Eat. Let's see if you like it. Too much rosemary, Daddy. She doesn't like it. You don't want any more? That's a shame. She likes regular roasted butternut squash. Well, at least she tried it. Glad I didn't give her too much. Sorry, girl. I'll make it taste better next time. Yeah. I'll this is just an experiment. I don't recommend making this way. Oh, interestingly, she's going back for more. Well, it's a process. I'm learning to try to cook without added sugar, salt, or oil. And that is really hard to make it taste good because salt, sugar, oil, and acid makes things taste delicious. Oh, you know, actually, she's actually eating more of the soup. Well, I actually will eat all of this because it still tastes edible. And it's warm. And it's been cold outside, so it's nice to have something that's warm and hearty. Before I finish the video and finish the rest of the soup, I didn't say what I realized when I was super high on mushrooms. Well, there were several questions that I wanted to ask. So if some of you want to try that mushroom gummy that contains muscimol, it's good to have questions already lined up that you want to ask. Because you can usually figure out the answer to them. But one of the side things that I didn't expect was I just was starting to think about my microbiome and how my microbiome talks to me. You know, it's like the gut feeling and everything. And I realized that I don't talk to my microbiome. And so I was just talking with my microbiome and say, hey, you down there. Thanks for being part of me. And I was thinking about how, well, sorry I'm talking about this while you might be eating. Like how when I poop, that part of my microbiome's gone, it's not part of me anymore. And then I got kind of sad about it. I was like, oh, when I poo, I lose part of my microbiome. And I was starting to get sad about it, and then I realized that, oh wait, no, the microbiome's always there, but part of it dies, but other parts are born. So there's a constant regeneration or reincarnation or whatever you want to say, in my bowels. That was pretty wild to think about. And that when I poo and I lose part of my microbiome, there's more still here. It's still there. And so I realized I didn't have to be sad about the death of part of the microbiome, because the other part is still there. It's living. And then I also realized that in order for me to have a good relationship with the microbiome, I have to have a strong, nurturing barrier between me and the microbiome. I have to have an intact intestinal wall. And that intestinal wall has to generate mucus so that the bacteria have a barrier, and they also get nourished by the mucus too. And that barrier has to let things come through and pass out. Like the healthy short chain fatty acids that we can't make but the microbiome makes, but it's critical to the functioning of our immune system. That's got to go through the wall. So it can't be like an iron wall that nothing can get through. It's got to be protecting and nurturing and permeable. That is necessary for a healthy relationship between me and my microbiome. And if I don't maintain that integrity of the barrier, then some of the bacteria can get through, and then disease happens. Dis-ease. The bacteria can wreak havoc and eat away like my spine, or go through my blood and cause sepsis, and cause pus pockets in different parts of my body. And so it's absolutely critical that I have a very strong, protective, but nurturing and permeable barrier between me and my microbiome, in order for all of us to survive, because there's 300 trillion of them, 100 trillion of them. And I realized that the same thing has to happen with people in my life. That if I take on the burdens and karma and stresses and suffering of everyone around me, and I let that into my body, then disease happens. I will be destroyed. But instead, if I have a strong, protective, but also nurturing and permeable barrier between me and other people to protect the integrity of my body, but also be supportive and nurturing and helpful and loving and peaceful. And at times it might require violence. That there's a barrier, a boundary that I need to maintain in order to have a healthy coexistence. So that's what my microbiome taught me when I was like super high on Saturday. I'm still kind of trying to understand what all that means. Yeah. Well, while I ponder that, I'm gonna work on this soup. And so for this soup, I would recommend maybe just adding a few sprigs of rosemary after you blended it, so that you can control how much you put in there. Because when it blended, it just like got so infused with the rosemary smell. That's the other thing about eating without much salt and sugar and oil. When you start eating this way, your palate actually and your nose gets very sensitive. And so spices and salt and other things, you really pick up on like a lot. And so while this may taste bland to other people, this is actually very, very aromatic to me. But yeah, next time when I make this, I'll make it with less rosemary and less water, so that it's a little thicker. And less pepita seeds. I really just want to taste the butternut squash. I think it's a step in the right direction. And just like life, I'm just taking a day at a time and try to learn and improve as best I can. Nothing's perfect. Well, unless you think that imperfection is perfect, which it might be. Well, I hope you have a good day.